Archetype have finally dropped an uninterrupted gameplay trailer for Exodus. Now, this is just a, quote, teaser for the big one coming this summer, but it is packed with details. The fight here takes place on the outskirts of Lyonesse, which is a city in Lyden. According to the developers, this is the kind of fight where positioning really matters. Starting with the interface. The HUD here is looking very minimal and really clean. In the bottom left, we can see the portrait of two of our companions, Tom Vargas and Elie Charoux, and their abilities. Looking closer, we can see that we can command our companions to use their abilities by pressing left or right on the D-pad for their regular ability and then hold for their ultimate. In Elie's case, knockdown missile and micro missile barrage. In the upper left, we can see a magnifying glass, which I believe in combat will be pause and plan, and outside of combat could be used as a scanning tool. The number that shows changes depending on enemies from 3 to 4, which indicates that it has a limited range. To the right, we have a health bar that is broken into 3 bars, and you can also see that pressing up uses one of 2 medkits that the player is carrying. Then we have grenades on the right button and of course ammo and weapons mode. As earlier mentioned, according to the developers, this is a fight where positioning matters, and that means taking and moving from cover to cover. It seems like the developers have put a lot of effort into the combat system of Exodus, especially the mechanics. As we can see here, there is a symbol to the right of the character, indicating that we are in cover. We can also see it go on and off as we enter and leave cover. We can also see an energy bar showing up when sprinting. This indicates limited sprint stamina, just like Commander Shepard in Mass Effect, which honestly makes no sense at all, especially considering that Shepard is a highly trained N7 elite soldier, and June is technically a genetically engineered superhuman. Sprinting should not be a problem. Here we see Elie's missile barrage. The attack charges as the players hold right on the D-pad and then goes off on the enemies, and the developers have paid great attention to the sound design of Exodus. Just listen to the sound of those missiles. The 2 mob enemies seems to split up just before the missiles hit, but they are still heavily damaged. The AoE of the ultimate is very large and has good damage, including burning effects, which will do even more damage over time. This is very fitting for an ultimate. You can also see that Elie's portrait hovers over the enemy she's targeted with the attack. The main mission appears in the top left. Precious cargo, escape the train wreck. And I believe that this is the same train that we can see in the Rise of June Aslan trailer. Elie also uses knockdown missile on the enemy drone, and June then shoots it with the piercer, which is good against shields. He also shoots at the drone's weak spot. Chris King, the director of Exodus, has said that the game will contain a lot of elements from games like Horizon, a game where you shoot at various weak points to destroy your enemies, which we just saw on full display with the player shooting at the drone's rotors/propellers. Then, when the drone gets destroyed, it crashes and explodes, similar to Ark Raiders, which released last year. The player also shoots the main enemy with piercing mode, but it doesn't do much damage, because the piercer is an energy weapon which is better against mechanical enemies and shields, as we can see here, where there are hit markers with text telling you how effective your attacks are, with strong and weak showing up when June is shooting them. We can also see that June takes quite a bit of damage when he gets hit moving into cover. This is a good thing. You will need to pay attention to positioning, cover, and flanking, because the enemies have some serious firepower and also shields. After moving forward, the player switches from the piercer with the magnifying glass / pause and plan, using a weapon wheel which currently only shows 2 modes on the level 1 recycler. First is the piercer, which is a semi-automatic energy rifle that uses piercer ammo, which is good against shields and mechanical enemies. The ammo for the weapon can be crafted mid-battle using materials that you can loot from your enemies. The second is the repeater. It has been confirmed that we can get more modes on the recycler and upgrade it. We can also see our companion's abilities in more detail. And Tom has energy siphon and cryo grenade. This reminds me of Mass Effect's cryo ammo, which is absolutely awesome. You can also see that these abilities have different icons on them, a 1 and fire. We all know what fire means, but it seems like the 1 might be a part of a combo system. The 1 primes the enemies and the 2 detonates them, similar to Mass Effect. This will make combat really interesting by experimenting with selecting the right team for various power combinations. The player switches to the repeater, which has an impact symbol, meaning physical projectiles instead of energy. It has rapid fire, which is effective mid-range. The repeater can also craft ammo mid-combat, and the attention to detail when the weapon changes is absolutely amazing. The repeater absolutely rips through the enemy with headshots, which is every human's weak spot. Here we can see that the player haven't taken any damage for a while, and that the health bar has started to regenerate to full. This will most likely only go up to the most current bar rather than full health. Looking at this scene, you notice that when the enemy Biggs dies, that he drops something. If we pause here, we can see that it is a mod. We can't see what kind of mod it is, but I suspect that it's most likely for the recycler. And I am really looking forward to see what kind of mods we will get to play around with. In the next clip, we are upon a massive tower in Lyonesse, where we can see some platforming elements using the rail claw. The atmosphere here is spot on. It is eerie and alien and almost gives me old Metroid vibes. The developers have confirmed that there will be a lot of areas like this, and I for one am seriously looking forward to it. It really looks like there will be a good balance between combat, story, and exploration. I also hope that Archetype doesn't make it too safe, and that it is possible to die if you fall from the edge. Here we get an absolutely stunning view of the planet, which will possibly change due to our choices, potentially changing the planet over decades and centuries through time dilation. Lastly, the player steps into an ancient celestial shrine on Khonsu, which I suspect due to the name Sankara Glyph Shrine will contain a glyph for June's gauntlet. Glyphs will serve as an upgrade and give June new abilities, which again gives me some serious Metroid vibes. Vaults will be an element to exploration where we will be able to find various celestial items that are either story related or straight up upgrades for June. So far, everything looks really good. Smooth gameplay, good combat, great environmental design, and gameplay looks like it has the right feel to it. Missiles, bullets, and even lasers have some serious impact and does good damage. Platforming elements looks tight, and the atmosphere is spot on, alien and eerie. Freedom of exploration, despite being a story-driven game, is a great thing. One critique though that I have is that the enemies seem kind of static / stale, or almost dumb. Besides them moving in the beginning, none of them are going for cover when being shot at, and the main enemy Biggs is basically just tanking with his face when the player is shooting at him. Now this could potentially be because they released this trailer earlier than planned due to the absolute massive amounts of requests they have gotten for more gameplay, or because of this just being more of a showcase of how combat can look that is being played on a lower difficulty setting. But judging by the attention to detail with the sound and weapons design, I personally believe that this is something that they will take care of, and that the enemies will be more dynamic and try to both outflank and outsmart you when the game releases. That being said, what is something that you would like to see in terms of gameplay? Let me know in the comments down below. I have a feeling that Archetype will be observing the comments on various platforms.